Okay. Okay, the meeting was published in the Superior Telegram, posted throughout the district website and according to school board policy. Item number 4 is Northwestern High School new courses for 2021 and 22. Advanced English 10, Jovan Kroll. Okay,
We won't have any of the other instructors with us, just
okay,
your, Mr. Carlson and Brina Kroll would be the ones answering any questions you would have.
okay. Okay. And so we need to do this to update our handbooks,
We got a
correct?
problem. We did not post this where a majority may attend. So, Adam, I feel bad. We should have posted it. I didn't know you were coming because now we've got a quorum, and so that's illegal. So I got to ask you to, yeah, so sorry. Next time I will just post it as where a majority may attend. Then we are legal, saying basically, we could have other board members besides the 3, because I've got Rachel right here. So I'm so sorry.
Okay, Mr. Carlson?
Yeah, English, Advanced English 10. Primarily the purpose of this, first of all, I want to just say this is a pilot. We're approaching it as a pilot for 3 years. And the main intent of this is to provide those students who are on track or looking at taking the UWS 222 American Lit or Honors Lit, and then also going on taking the Advanced Placement English Lit and Composition. It provides them with a way to be a little bit more prepared for those classes. Now, the AP organization has always recommended schools that if they have AP courses like capstone things, to have a track to better prepare those kids headed towards those classes. So this is something that the ELA department's come up with to kind of help address that need. And we're proposing it as a 3-year pilot just to see if it makes a difference. Because there are a lot of different theories about, dividing kids out at that young age, whether they're freshmen or sophomores, from a curriculum standpoint. But for those reasons, as I stated, that's why we are proposing this and hoping that it makes a difference in helping kids become more prepared for those other higher level classes.
So did you say it's a 3-year pilot?
3-year pilot, yes.
Okay, thank you. Rachel, could you hear him? Kind of, okay. In it, you read everything, so we're good. Okay. Any other questions that the board members may have on any of the courses?
I assume that this would be a more rigorous class than just plain English.
Yes, that's the idea. And it would be kind of geared towards those kids who are moving on that track to want to be in the college level as a junior and AP as a senior.
Okay, I have no more questions
No?
on that.
Any more questions? Rachel, do you have any questions?
On the course themselves or on all the people who read about them?
On any questions? He's at the microphone, so
This
it's
is for the
perfect time.
English, yeah.
This is for the English one specifically, and then we would move on to the next one.
No questions about English.
Okay, got it. What's the next one, Gail?
Okay, do we go to the math here then, I guess?
Whatever's next one.
Yeah, well, we have excuse me, Introduction to Engineering. So that is with Lawrence Chellier.
Is that number 2?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Any questions on, this was sort of explained to the board before we even, hired, was that a second person is needed in order to have an engineering pathway for our students. And Mr. Charlier is here to address any questions our committee would have.
I mean, I think we were all very excited about this possibility when we talked about it earlier. So I guess my only question feels like a negative one, but what if we can't get somebody? Then where does that leave us? Or do we feel pretty strongly that we'll be able to hire
I
somebody?
think we feel pretty strongly that we can hire someone because there's an inner network that Mr. Charlier has, just like the inner network that Mr. Letko had, which led us to Mr. Charlier within 2 weeks of Mr. Letko letting us know we already had Mr. Charlier booked because we are one of the 5 premier tech ed departments in the state. People, that network of people know cool things are happening up here. So
And they want in.
they want in. They
Well,
want
that's
in.
what we want to hear.
Yeah. So I guess I don't have fear about that. I'd love to hear from you, Mr. Charlier.
Well, currently I'm talking to 2 people who've expressed interest. One, not sure if they're going to leave yet or not, and the other one depends on the day I catch them on how good their day went. And the other one is looking at moving, so I'm just trying to get them to look at here. So I don't have anybody. I'm sort of waiting for the posting.
Right. The
Yeah.
posting would happen either in January or first thing of February. Personally, we'd like to get it down in January, but the thought was December was kind of too early.
Okay. And would you be teaching both of these classes, or is that kind of up in the air till we
That's
get the
up in
second
the air,
person?
dependent upon the candidate. Whoever comes in, we look at what their strengths are and then divide the workload based on that. So.
Okay.
You'd be working together so you could tell, all of that. So I'm assuming that's how it would work.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay. Thank you.
So cool.
Thank you. Yes.
Rachel, do you have questions of Mr. Charlier? He's right at the microphone.
Just for the class we just talked about.
Yeah, the engineering track. There's 2 classes.
Mhm.
The only question I have, and I don't know if it would be a him question or a you question, but for the applied engineering class, if there are students that are not able to finance that, are they able to use like Angel Fund or other things like that?
That would
Certainly.
be the board decision. Right now, the way the Angel Fund is set up, it's allowed for fees or for food. So that is completely in the purview of the school board to lighten up the reasons Angel Fund could be used.
Is there a fee for this class?
Uh,
Or is
it's
it
only
just, I'm wondering if she's looking at this.
She's talking about the textbooks right there. Right up front.
Okay,
so-
but this is the cost. Is that a fee for the students?
No, that would just be to let us know what we
No,
have to
for-
buy.
Excuse me, for the applied engineering course, dependent, yeah,
Right, but, and so, because they get to keep it.
Okay.
dependent, their project could be based on so many different technologies, so.
Right, but if they
depending
can't.
on what it
Rachel's
is,
question.
they would have to come up with the.
Right, just
funding.
like art.
Yeah.
It's no different than art, because they keep it,
Mhm.
right.
Right. they have-
But I love her idea of saying, hey, maybe we need to bring Angel Fund back to the board table
Mhm.
sometime before the next school year, or before kids sign up, if that's, I would never want that to be a fear, you know,
Right.
you know,
Right.
so,
And that's exactly where I'm coming from. I don't want that to deter people from signing up if it could have been an option.
right.
Or the flip side, if it's not gonna be an option, I don't want people to sign up and then like, oh, I can't actually pay for it.
Right. Rachel, I wrote it down since we don't have Peggy. I wrote down Angel Fund for the January board meeting and then fees for engineering. I got it, and that will not get lost.
Perfect.
Okay,
Thank you.
you bet. Any other questions the board members have of Mr. Charlier?
No, thank
No?
you.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All
right, what's the next one?
So we have with this, is this the middle school?
Yes, the middle school.
New
bas-
procedure?
Right, procedure. Basically, the goal is to make sure that students who are currently disengaged, re-engage because they will not just automatically be socially promoted onto the next grade level.
Mm-hmm.
If they are class deficient, they may very well have to do a CELIS in the summertime, or they will not become a seventh grader, they will not become an eighth grader, and they will not become a high schooler. We have seen the disengagement from some students, and it's not a huge amount, but any amount is too many. And so that's what this is about, basically needing board backing. My backing, of course, already is there, but having board backing so that when you get a complaint from a parent saying, well, my student's still got to be an eighth grader, they're not going to be, well, this is the why. You now have an opportunity to turn it
To
around.
retrieve those
And you
courses,
know a
yeah.
whole half a year before
Right.
that it's not going to be an automatic here.
Is this a new situation?
Yes,
With the pandemic?
Mhm.
yes,
Okay.
yes. It is.
Yep. So it would be all 4 of those, or 5 of those subjects.
Correct.
Yep. And there is a one teacher for each content.
It doesn't necessarily have to be that's middle
Okay.
school, so it could be
Yep.
one teacher that's certified for all of those subject areas.
Okay.
But it would definitely be something that we pay a teacher $100 a student in
Mhm.
order to be the local educational guide, because this is credit recovery, so you can do that. So one teacher may have 5 students for that content area, and there's $500 that it's going to cost us, plus it's going to cost us the $100 per child for the ACELUS.
Mhm.
And I look at that as the cost of getting kids through. I don't look at that as a cost that would be borne by the parents, because we are able to count it as FTE for summer school. So we're getting a little bit of state money back on that. But knowing that now, we can put it in the budget.
Do we have students that will definitely need this? We know that already, or are we going to put this out there so they realize that they may fall into that category?
Craig is going to a microphone right now, Rachel.
Great question, Mrs. Lind. We would definitely be sure to communicate that with all stakeholders, students as well as families, yes.
Okay.
Right now, there were approximately 4 at the most. I think that you had real specifics going, oh, I immediately know these students,
They're probably not going to make it.
they're not going to make it if they're continuing any way, shape, or form the same path they've been on, because this is not new. This started last spring,
Okay.
Mhm.
and they may have been socially promoted on last spring, but it's like it's not happening again.
Mm-hmm.
Do I have it correct, Ms. Craig?
You do, yes. And we want to look at this too, not just from a, I don't want to say disciplinary stance, but also from an instructional gap stance. So if we see students that are legitimately really struggling to make those connections, we don't want to just move on and dismiss those instructional gaps. We want to make sure that we're attending to them. So we want to have good conversations with family, good conversations with students about this being something that would be helpful for our children in our community, and then support them along the way as well.
Would this be something they'd come in to do then? Would they come into the school in the summer, or would this be at home as they're doing right now?
So we would have different options. Currently, right now, ACELUS can be offered on campus at the high school, and that's through our district at-risk coordinator as well. But if we were to move that, if we have the teachers to do that at the middle school, they would be able to come in and do that as well on campus. Or they could choose, as they do now, and have that option to stay at home too for whatever those concerns are for families.
I'm guessing that they're going to need to come in because right
Yeah, it's
now
not
it's not
working.
working at home. So
Yep,
yep.
that's why I asked that
Yep.
question.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Any questions, Rachel?
Just could you let me know was Ms. Craig's answer yes or no? I couldn't hear the whole thing.
Oh, okay. The answer was yes. Absolutely.
That they'll come in.
Well, they have both options. They could come in, or they could do it online. However, the point that Nancy was making is it's not working for the online. So the fact that we do have it so that it could be right on campus may mean that's the only option that they're going to have in order to be able to pass, because the online isn't working for them.
Right.
But it,
It's good to have an option because some students actually are doing better from home, it sounds like.
yes, and that
So I
would
think
be there.
having an option is great.
Yep, we would have the option.
Yes, and we want to honor and respect our families who are still have those concerns about coming on campus as well. So that leg would really provide some individual instruction and, and assistance in order to scaffold that learning too. So we would just be really cognizant of that and just work with those families on an individual basis as well, and to provide the supports that we feel the students have demonstrated are really, really necessary right now.
Ms. Craig, I'm sure you were not able to hear,
I'm
basically
sorry.
said the LEG, local educational guide, the teacher that's paid the $100 per student, would be a resource for the student, but we want to be respectful of those families that if they absolutely need to be home, then they can be home. But I guess where I'm coming from is I would want to have a real tight control on that, because if it truly is not working for the online, even though we have a leg here, something's not working, and having students right with us is, how many times do we need to be?
Oh, for sure.
well,
I'm
so-
sure
yeah.
the majority of people will need to be in person.
Yeah, okay.
but Still good to have an option.
Yes, gotcha.
Because it also says that there's going to be a team of people that decide if this is even appropriate for each student. I would think that team could also have a really good opinion as to whether
It'll
in
work or not.
person or online would
Yeah.
work better for that student.
Good point.
Okay, and then we would, this would be offered during the summer school. What if it goes longer? These students need to have a longer time retrieving those courses.
Sure. So right now, we're looking at, we would want them to finish in the June, July, and August months and be finished by September 1st. If
They
there
have
were-
to, because otherwise
Yep.
they're not moving
That,
on.
that was,
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I was curious. If it takes longer than we offer summer school,
No,
they will just stay there till they retrieve all their credits, correct?
Summer school can go technically until the first day of school. So yep,
Okay.
they would have that
it,
time.
it needs to be done then, because then
Mhm.
those teachers aren't going to be available. They're going to have full-time
Mhm.
teachers. Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
Okay.
hopefully, how do I put this? We want to make sure that we're helping these students along so they don't get to a place where they think, I can never recover what I need
Right,
to do.
right.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully this will do that for them and the leg person.
LEG, Local Educational Guide, LEG.
Okay, all right.
Okay. Any other questions or?
Any other questions, Rachel? Nope, okay.
Okay, thank you. All right.
We have them all?
I think so. We have, we did on this, so there was math for the calculus course, which
Calculus,
we
okay.
did not talk about.
Mr.
Where-
Carlson, you want to talk about calculus? I'm sorry, you got to get up and move again. Or Brina, you want to make
Where is calculus?
any comment on that, or?
It's math, this is added,
I don't know where that is because I'm not.
it's
seeing
on
it
the,
on-
about updating the school handbook.
What's the question?
Gail?
It-
what is the question?
Well, this was in my packet anyway, it's about, adding, the students take UW calculus, 240 and 241 would be required to pay 25% of the course.
Oh, that's the new laws that have been,
Okay,
basically, this one is yours, Brina. It was already board
Okay.
approved, right?
well, it's on here anyways.
Yep, but
Okay.
that, just as a, because now
Okay.
it's going to go into the course handbook.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, are you
No,
okay?
I'm fine with
Okay.
that, because it was on here, so that's right.
Right, I think that got board
wasn't
approved.
on the
Was that in
agenda.
October? Yep,
Okay,
okay.
super, thank you.
Yeah, that was just an update to the course book following the approval of doing that from the board.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this must be the page.
Okay,
Okay.
all right.
do you do a,
kind of a,
I'm only asking because I'm supposed to take the minutes.
mm-hmm,
So is it a motion and a second to
I
approve?
guess it's
I-
up to
I
the,
think don't we just come to a kind of an agreement what the committee feels?
Mhm.
Okay.
And then the motion
Yep,
and all is in
usually.
the open
In the
session.
open session, okay, cool.
Mhm.
mm-hmm,
So I'm fine and excited about these new courses. And I'm happy that we can offer something to kids that are not making it right now, that they'll have basically a second chance given to them with support. So I think that that's what we need right now.
mm-hmm.
So I'm in favor of all of this.
Is that just for middle school students? We don't need it anywhere else?
That's correct. Right
Okay.
now, that's just for
Okay,
middle school students. For the high school, they have credits. Either
Yeah.
you get the credit or you don't, and
Mhm.
either you get the required credits to graduate or you don't.
okay. Yeah, it has before.
Has been.
It
yeah,
has before.
Correct.
Okay. And Rachel, how do you feel about approving or, agreeing to these course changes?
Yep,
Yep.
yep, yep.
Sorry. Okay,
That's on,
Mhm.
that's already, we're going to put it on for January. We can't, oh, okay. Yes, I
Mhm.
did. Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Got it. The cost now. Got it.
Mhm.
Okay. 20. Got it. But then I'm going to have 25% of cost of UW Superior courses because it's not just calculus, it's also the English one.
Mhm.
So we wouldn't want it to only be for the 2 calculus courses. We'd want it to be for any UW.
Mhm.
Yes, yes, got it. Right, exactly.
Mhm.
Okay, I've got it added into the note.
Okay,
Perfect.
thank,
You bet.
thank you.
Okay.
Okay, I guess at this time, do we need to have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, motion to adjourn. We need a second.
That would have to be Rachel.
Yep.
Rachel? Okay.
Okay, thank you very much.
All in favor?
Yeah, all in favor, sorry.
Aye, aye.
Aye, yes. Okay, thank you now.
All right, good. So